Hey, you guys, I'm so glad you came back to visit with me again. We are going to sing Fear, Get Out of Here. So get up with me, let's sing.
Yep. I get scared sometimes, so I cover my eyes. But that's so silly, 'cause God is always with me. So I stand up tall. Remember, He is strong. I won't be afraid. God is always with me. Fear, get out of here. Fear, get out of here now. Fear, get out of here. Get out of here for good. I'll see you later. See you later. I'll see you later. See you later. See you later, alligator. See you later. I'll see you later. See you later. See you later, alligator. Scared sometimes, so I cover my eyes. But that's so silly, 'cause God is always with me. So I stand up tall. Remember, He is strong. I won't be afraid. God is always with me. Fear, get out of here. Fear, get out of here now. Fear, get out of here. Get out of here for good. I'll see you later. See you later. I'll see you later. See you later. See you later, alligator. See you later. I'll see you later. See you later. See you later, alligator. I don't need to be afraid no more. Afraid no more. God, I'm yours. I don't need to be afraid no more. Afraid no more. God, I'm yours. I don't really need to be afraid no more. Afraid no more. God, I'm yours. I don't really need to be afraid no more. Afraid no more. God, I'm yours. Fear, get out of here. Fear, get out of here now. Fear, get out of here. Get out of here for good. I'll see you later. See you later. I'll see you later. See you later. See you later, alligator. See you later. I'll see you later. See you later. See you later, alligator.
Wow, you always do such an amazing job worshiping Jesus with me. All right, it is time for the most important part of our time together. Do you remember what that is? That's right, it's our Bible lesson time. So go ahead, find a comfy spot to sit. Did you find your spot? All right, put on your listening ears. Do you have them on? Great. It's a new month. It's the month of August. And with a new month comes a new question. This month, the question I'm going to be asking you is, who helps you to be brave? Can you tell me? What do you think the answer is? God helps me to be brave. Can you say that with me? Are you ready? God helps me to be brave. Good job. You did awesome. Well, when I was a little kid, a long time ago, I used to think that being brave meant that I didn't feel afraid. Now I know that being brave means that I choose to trust God even when I feel afraid and do what He's asking me to do. All month long, we are going to look at people in the Bible who felt afraid, but God helped them to be brave and they chose to trust Him and obeyed Him even though they felt a little bit scared. So today we're going to start off by talking about God's special people, the Israelites. Do you remember the Israelites? Say that for me. Who were God's special people? They were the Israelites. That's right. And remember, the Bible has two parts, the Old Testament and the New Testament. And today's Bible lesson comes from the Old Testament. In the Old Testament, we had the Israelites. And the Israelites were following God to a land that He had promised them. He had promised them a land that was full of honey and good things where their crops would grow. And they were so excited to follow God to the land that he had promised them. But there was a problem. Oh, there were people who lived in the land already, and they were giants. Not only were they giants, but also they had built cities there. And do you think they wanted the Israelites to come and take away their land? No, they didn't want to give their land to the Israelites. And so God had a plan. God said to the Israelites, there was a big city of Jericho. And in the city of Jericho were people who did not love God, and they didn't listen to God, and they didn't obey him. And Jericho was in the way of Israel taking the promised land. And so God told the Israelites that they were to march around the city of Jericho, completely silent. They were to march all the way around the city. Now, this wasn't just a little city. This was a big city. The Bible tells us they had giant walls protecting the city. And they were to march all the way around the city and silently do it. And they were to march the next day all the way around and silently do it. And after they had marched for many days silently, finally they were to march around the city, and they were to give a great big shout and cheer. Oh! Well, guess what? Does that sound like a good battle plan to you? Does that sound like a good idea for how to get land? What if the people came out with their weapons and they attacked the Israelites? What if they laughed at them? Does it feel very good to you when you get laughed at? It hurts my heart to be laughed at. Oh, there were all kinds of reasons that this sounded like a really bad plan to the Israelites. They were scared. But you know what? They woke up in the morning. What do you think they did? They felt scared. Do you think they ran away and hid under their tents? No, the Bible tells us that the Israelites got up and they lined up and they marched silently all the way around the city. It took a long time to get all the way around Jericho. It took a long time. They were probably hot and tired. Oh, they got all the way back to their tents. They didn't have air conditioning like you and me. They were hot and sweaty and tired. The next morning, do you feel like they felt like obeying God again? Do you think they did? They did. They got up, they went out, they lined up, and they marched all the way around Jericho. And they did it silently. Do you think that they felt like this was a good plan? They probably were getting discouraged. Nothing was happening, right? Oh, and they were hot and they were tired. And you know what? I bet the people of Jericho were probably laughing at them. Ah, you silly Israelites. What do you think you're going to do to us? Oh, their heart probably hurt. They were tired. They were still afraid. What if they didn't get the promised land? Well, they went out again the next day and they obeyed. They marched all the way around. They did it silently. Finally, the day came that they continued to obey, and it was the day that they were supposed to march and then shout. So they marched all the way around this city. And then they had special horns, and they blew their horns, and the people began to shout. What do you think happened? The Bible tells us that the walls of Jericho began to crumble and fall. God was stronger than the people of Jericho, and the people of Israel cheered. God gave them the victory. They won the battle against Jericho. And they did it by following God's plan. You know, boys and girls, sometimes God's plan doesn't always sound good to us. Like the Bible tells us, children, obey your moms and dads. Oh, has your mom ever told you to do something you didn't feel like doing? When I was little, my mom would tell me things like, it's time for bed. I didn't always feel like obeying her. Or sometimes she would say, you need to help clean up your toys. I didn't feel like doing it. Or maybe come inside out from playing for dinner. I didn't always feel like doing that. But God says to obey our parents. Do you know that the best thing we can do, the way that we can tell God that we love him, is to obey his plan for us? So boys and girls, my question is, when God's plan for you doesn't make sense, are you going to choose to be brave and trust him? Or are you going to choose to do things your own way? You know, I don't think the Israelites would have had any victory. They wouldn't have won the battle against Jericho if they tried to fight, but they followed God's plan and they did it God's way. And God helped them to be brave even when they felt afraid. So here's my question. Who can help you be brave? That's right. God can help you be brave. Our verse this month, stand up with me, it's time for our verse, is Psalm 53:6. It says this, when I am afraid, I will, and we're going to do it like this, I will trust in you. Are you ready? When I am afraid, I will trust in you. When you are afraid, you can trust God because he loves you so much and he has an amazing plan for your life. Let's do our verse one more time. Psalm 53:6. When I am afraid, I will trust in you. Good job, you guys. Remember, God loves you. He has a plan for you, and he wants to help you be brave. Have a great week. I'll see you next time.